fellow film buffs. Welcome back. Today we're diving headfirst into the 10 Korean movies from 2025 that created the most noise. I've spent countless hours sifting through this year's cinematic landscape, and from everything that came out, these 10 really grabbed me. Some genuinely left me breathless. Others had me questioning reality, and a few, well, let's just say not every grand vision sticks the landing. But that's exactly why we're here. For the real truth about what's worth your precious viewing time, and what might leave you wanting those 2 hours back. First up is Wall to Wall. This psychological thriller locks you in a claustrophobic apartment and refuses to let go.
진짜야.
The story follows a man who sinks his life savings into what he believes is his dream home, only to discover the very walls are alive with disturbing sounds, and his neighbors seem to have crawled straight out of a nightmare. The movie starts with a genuinely chilling premise that preys on every renter's worst fears. The sound design is absolutely incredible, and the lead performance carries the psychological tension flawlessly. But the third act completely abandons the subtle horror for some wildly over-the-top revelations that feel more ridiculous than terrifying. It's as if the creators lost faith in their own atmospheric build and just threw everything at the screen to see what would stick. The finale tries to be profound but winds up feeling totally pretentious.
힘받기 싫으면 같이 한번 봅시다.
At number 9, we have Nocturnal, a crime thriller helmed by director Kim Jin-hwang. The plot follows Min-tae, a reformed gang member trying to live quietly as a construction worker until his brother's demise pulls him back into a world he was desperate to flee. But here's the mind-bending part. The details of his brother's passing mirror a novel penned by a mysterious author, and that's when things get truly interesting. I caught this in cinemas, and its cold, calculated cinematography immediately hooked me. Ha Young-woo's intense brooding carries the entire picture. The major flaw, however, is that Nocturnal can't figure out what kind of movie it wants to be. The mystery is compelling, but the action sequences feel completely disconnected from the psychological thriller it's trying to be. The pacing also crawls at certain points, making the film feel far longer than it is. It received a 5.1 rating on IMDb, which feels a little unfair considering Ha Jung-woo's dedicated portrayal. Coming in at number 8 is Revelation, from director Yeon Sang-ho, the mind behind Train to Busan and Hellbound. This one's a psychological thriller that asks a terrifying question. What happens when divine belief becomes a justification for human evil? The movie centers on a pastor who, after a series of personal crises, becomes convinced that God has given him a divine mission to punish a mysterious ex-convict. At the same time, a haunted detective with a personal vendetta against the same man is trying to unravel the truth. What really grabbed me about this film is the chilling descent of the main character. It's a masterclass in how a person's faith can be twisted by their own anxieties and desire for control. The film's a bit of a slow burn, and the ending might leave you wanting more, but the central performances and moral ambiguity are absolutely captivating. Number 7, The Ugly, another entry from director Yeon Sang-ho. The Ugly is a raw and humanistic departure from his typical visceral genre pictures. Based on the graphic novel Face, this drama and mystery chronicles a son's search for answers about his mother's secret history after her skeletal remains are uncovered 40 years later.
그쯤에서 그만뒀으면 좋았을 텐데.
The film's main idea is haunting. Everyone who knew the mother called her ugly, and the film subtly questions who gets to define attractiveness and what it can hide. The narrative examines themes of beauty, family legacy, and concealed horrors in a slow burn fashion. I watched it anticipating action, but was instead treated to a moody character study. A huge highlight is Park Jung-min's remarkable dual performance as both the son in the present and the younger version of his sightless father in flashbacks. This film garnered a 7.5 rating on IMDb, but has very few votes. At number 6, The Old Woman with the Knife delivers a refreshing and compelling take on the well-worn assassin revenge plot.
벌써 이렇게 늙으면 어떡해?
The film centers on Hornclaw, a legendary assassin in her 60s whose professional life is upended by a vicious young hitman, Bullfight, who wants to take her place. You will absolutely adore how the film twists familiar tropes, delivering a more intimate and atmospheric journey than a typical action movie. The intoxicating on-screen chemistry and charged verbal sparring between Lee Hae-young and Kim Sung-chul are also a key draw. Despite these strengths, the motion picture isn't perfect. The heavy use of flashbacks, while effective, can be confusing and makes the narrative a demanding watch. The number 5 is Love Untangled.
괜찮다.
Let's go!
I have to confess, the whole curly hair premise seemed a little off-putting at first, but wow, this movie handles it with so much grace. It follows Park Siri, a girl who is insecure about her curls and tries to tame them to attract her crush. Her journey takes an unexpected turn when she finds love with a new friend. This is an utter delight to watch, with the whimsical innocence of teenage romance. The connection between the leads is so natural and believable, making their slow-burn romance feel truly earned. The 90s aesthetic and retro vibes also tap into a powerful sense of nostalgia, which is a big part of its charm. Number 4, Mantis. This is Netflix's spin-off from the Kill Boksoon universe, and it's a mixed bag that'll either hook you completely or leave you scratching your head. Yim Soo-won stars as Mantis, an ace assassin returning from vacation to find the contract killer world in complete chaos after the death of MK Enterprises' boss. The true tension arises from Mantis encountering Jae-yi, his fellow trainee and competitor, and Dako, a retired legendary killer, and realizing they are all vying for the top spot. What immediately grabbed me was how this film expands the Kill Boksoon lore without simply repeating the same beats. However, this movie doesn't quite capture that same lightning-in-a-bottle magic, but it's definitely worth seeing for enthusiasts of the original. Number 3 is The Match, a truly poignant sports drama based on the real account of two legendary Go players, Cho Hoon-hyun and Lee Chang-ho. This film masterfully charts the complicated relationship between a master and his prodigiously talented student as their bond is tested in a high-stakes final game.
이 바둑은 길이 남을 명곡입니다.
돌이 없지.
I knew absolutely nothing about the game of Go, but this picture did an incredible job of making the cerebral sport feel both intense and engaging, even for people with no previous knowledge of the game. The film's success is deeply rooted in the powerful portrayals by its leads, Lee Byung-hun and Yoo Ah-in. However, the film has a narrative imbalance that focuses more on the mentor's inner turmoil and fails to fully develop the student's character. Number 2 on our list is Yarang the Snitch, a fast-paced and stylish crime drama that quickly became a box office champion.
대규모 마약 조직 검거. 날 참 만만하게 생각하시네.
It follows a tumultuous and convoluted plot involving a charismatic informant, an ambitious prosecutor, and a relentless narcotics detective. This film is a sharp social critique of prosecutorial wrongdoing, which resonates profoundly with a public that is increasingly suspicious of institutional authority. The film's greatest asset is undoubtedly Kang Han-yul's magnetic performance as the titular snitch. He is the glue that holds the chaotic plot together, playing his character with a mix of slippery, funny, and dangerously charismatic charm. And finally, at number 1, we have No Other Choice, a stunning return to form for director Park Chan-wook.
내 면접은 있잖아. 정말 힘든 그런 면접이야.
The story follows Yoo Man-soo, an unemployed paper worker who, after being laid off, devises a homicidal scheme to remove his competition and secure a new job. The phrase, no other choice, is repeated several times throughout the film, and it really sticks with you. This movie is as unsettling as it is outrageously funny, and I love how it refuses to either justify or condemn the protagonist's violent actions, creating a deeply compelling and layered story.
당신이 사라져야 내가 살아!
And that concludes our countdown. What did you think of our list? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe if this video helped you discover your next great watch. Catch you in the next one.
It was not